Anyways, so I figured I'd start today with the comment storm that I had a couple of days ago. I posted this on Instagram, which automatically posts onto my page. And what happened next was actually kind of funny because if you can see here, 23,000 people have seen this. And then 95 shares. On the page alone is only 22 comments. But in one of the shares, it's at 374 reactions and stuff. So I figured it'd be an awesome time to show you guys that if you're not on the Instagram page or the Facebook page, you might want to be there. So anyways, I'm getting ready to start taking the car apart. The weather's not really helping here. It's been raining on and off. It's actually still pretty cold. So right now I'm just taking off all the old gauges that I had on the center console. Lucky for me, one of them had a connector in the back, and then the other one I made a connector for. So pretty much all I gotta do now is pull the wires through the firewall and get the sending units, and I'll be ready to sell those. This one's gonna be next. The methanol is gonna stay till the end because I am unsure as to when the whole Holley system is gonna be on. Speaking of the Holley, I'm not even sure if I'm gonna mount it there. You guys like my little Jimmy rig there? I kind of just tested it with a harness connected to the back, and the whole ECU itself is just too big. I cannot get it to pivot the right way to go in and not hit the hinge. Pretty much the problem is that the hinge up here has a lot of stuff in the back because it has the connector for the light and the spring system thing, and I think I might be able to sacrifice that, but at this point it's looking like I might not be mounting it there, but instead under the hood. But again, not sure yet whether I'm going to do that, because the one thing I do know is that under the hood it gets extremely hot, and I've been contemplating doing the GNX vents on the sides, but yet don't have the heart to cut holes into my perfectly good fenders. So now, the other thing that is making the removal of my gauges fairly easy is that, as you can see, I have this little fuse block here, and pretty much all these gauges are on one fuse. I mean, they're labeled. You can see what I have here. So yeah, I just got to disconnect this and trace the wires back to the gauges. The hardest ones are going to be the ones in the pillars, because I actually ran all these wires along with the rest of the factory wires. So it looks clean, but it makes it a pain in the to take off. So anyways, only God knows when's the last time that saw daylight. It's pretty gross. So anyways, I got the pot off, and as you can see, this is how it fits. See, the funny thing about this is that I had to use a lot of heat and a lot of sanding and a lot of trimming to get it to fit that good. So as you can see, this is the stock inner piece, and then you mount this on top of this, and then the holes align, of course, and the whole thing fits in place. Now the reason that I'm running it like this is because if you mount just if you mount just this, then you'll have a gap right here where this trim is supposed to be. So every time you open your door, you could actually see into the structure of the car, rather than a nice clean piece of plastic, I guess. But yeah, so here you can see the difference. And again, that piece, I molded it to my trim piece to get it to fit right. So anyways, I kind of spared you guys from taking this whole thing off. I still got to take the kick panel down, but as you can see, the quality, or not the quality, the time and effort I put into installing this, making sure that the wires don't get chafed, and it just properly installed overall. But yeah, time to get rid of them. Anyways, putting the nice stock trim piece back on. And there we go. Bam. Whew. That was a mission. Anyways, it's back on. Yeah, I don't know, it just looks weird now. So anyways, all of this is looks messy now that I undid it, but pretty much all my wires are labeled, and they were running really nice along here. But yeah, now I'm just pulling out wires for like old systems that were in the car. Like this was for the tier 6, I don't need those anymore. And yeah, continuing on with the spaghetti. So it's been a couple hours. The wires are through the firewall, back through the firewall now. So pretty much there's no more wires other than the stock stuff down there. I'm kind of having a collection over here because I'm trying to sell the gauges, so I'm trying not to chop them up. And yeah, I ended up having to take the cover off because I had ran them all in here, and that's kind of the roll that you saw inside on the floor. But now I gotta take off the wideband, which has this wire that's going all the way across over there to that first O2 sensor you see there. So yeah, slowly but surely, it's taking forever. And once I start the Holley wiring, this is gonna be a real nightmare. So I've got all of the wires that are there, that are here. As you can see, I have the first O2 sensor unplugged. The wrench is making the thing focus on the wrong thing. Anyways, so now I'm gonna be taking that off. Pretty much what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna take this hose off, put a piece of longer hose there and plug it there. All that means is from now until the Holley is completed, this is gonna be on wastegate only. Fun times. I'm over here deep-pinning the map sensor. I was just gonna deep-pin the center connector and then put the one for the XFI in there, and the old connector decided to break on me. So I figured that that showed you this, guys. So you can use the insert of one of these to actually put it in there and just kind of push this out without using a tool. Although I have the tool, I'm lazy because I had this at hand. So yeah, figured you guys would find that interesting. I'm gonna change the plug and then try to wrap this up. So anyway, I removed the solenoid. I made another hose just to replace this. Again, this is gonna be running on wastegate pressure only. I also took off the O2 sensor, and that part kind of sucked because the threads were seized, and I tried to use some penetrating oil, didn't work. And as I was pulling it out, it was just destroying the threads on the O2 sensor itself. Thank God it didn't damage. Well, it actually, I believe it damaged the bung as well, because that block off, that plug didn't want to go in nicely. But yeah, so there's my relocated map sensor for now. That's the old one, just kind of holding the fort. It's not connected to anything, so my LED dash is not working, which I don't really care about because the Pro Dash is going to go there. All the wires are kind of exposed right now. Things are kind of just jimmy rigged around. So as I had mentioned earlier in the video, the Holley ECU might end up coming under the hood, and I'm thinking of putting it in this area right here. Now, if I do happen to end up putting it out here, I am definitely going to end up cutting up my fenders, going with the GNX vents, or trying to figure out a way to push fresh air around the ECU, because under here this gets really hot, extremely hot actually. So, and it being that high up, humidity and heat I don't want to shorten the lifespan of that computer. I think I'm going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit the like button.